Hello and welcome in, everyone. First of
Hi,
all, we
Isaiah.
hope you enjoyed the all-new update free show. Something new we're trying out. Definitely have to give a shout out to Finch, Tina, and Enna Buns. That was a lot of fun. But now it is time for the Trickster God update show, where we're going over everything headed your way in Smite over the next few weeks. Got a ton of balance, ton of awesome skins, and of course, what you all have been waiting for, the long-awaited Loki Rework. And I'm Titan Isaiah, your host, and of course, with me, I've got my buddies from the design team to break everything down.
Our boy Clumsy,
How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, having a good time. Excited.
Are you guys ready for the Loki Rework is what I should say.
Everyone's
ready. Super excited.
All right, let's get right into it. We're going to cover the Loki Rework towards the bottom of the show, but we got a lot of awesome stuff to cover first, so let's hop right into it, and let's talk about bonus balance.
Let's hop right into
everybody's way next Tuesday, and we'll go ahead and kick it off with gods, and we're going to start off with Amaterasu. Amaterasu is seeing a lot of pick, especially in pro play. So she's going to be seeing some nerfs to Glorious Charge. We're going to be decreasing the base damage on that ability, and then Dazzling Offensive, we're doing the same thing. So a couple of damage decreases on two of her abilities. What's going on with Ama, guys?
Yeah. So we saw a lot of success with her when she got the extra clear from her shield charge, but we didn't really offset any of her late game strength or her boxing capability. So the Glorious Charge change takes away some of that damage. By Dazzling Offensive late game is hitting the kind of top end damage she can deal, just to bring her down a little bit and bring her more in line with the warrior choices.
Those are good nerfs. I mean, AMA is disgustingly good.
Cthulhu seeing a nerf here
again,
to
right?
Sever, which is the ultimate ability number one. We're going to be decreasing the base damage on Sever, as well as decreasing the magical power scaling by 5%. And I'll let Clumsy take it away here.
Yeah, I mean, ever since Cthulhu came out, he obviously released in a pretty strong state. Since then, we've been trying to find appropriate places to nerf him, looking at his damage, looking at the duration of his ulti. Now, that was a pretty big one, and that directly impacts how much damage he can deal over the course of the entire ulti. We still want to do a little bit of a target nerf on Sever to make sure that, especially at the late game, right, because this is a late game base damage and late scaling, he's not doing, as much damage. Guardian role, he needs to be careful with how much he can put out. So it's just small more. It's a little bit of a few tweaks.
I like it.
All right, so going from a really big god to a really small god.
Cupid up next. He's getting the Capri treatment on that Cthulhu,
seeing a big rise
every
among
patch
the ranks,
nerf. To be fair, he's still so good.
All the ADCs.
So is Capri,
we're
for that
going to be
matter.
doing a nerf to Cupid here, and the healing on hearts.
Interesting.
We're going to be decreasing the physical power scaling on the heal from 25% to 20%.
Cupid nerf.
Yeah, so Cupid really just kind of like rose up after the increased damage to his wave clear capability, but he brings a lot to the team besides that. He has like good team fight ultimate.
I don't see very much Cupid at all.
And so rather than like try and tone back down that strength that we just gave him, he hasn't been really in the meta for quite some time anyway. We're just going to take away some of the healing that he brings to his team, especially the scaling late game. He can contribute kind of a large burst heal to his team and tone it down, bring him more in line with their hunter choices.
I don't see a lot of Cupid.
All right, going from a physical ADC to a magical ADC up next. Freya going to be seeing some nerfs in bonus balance. We're making a change to Valkyrie's Discretion here, decreasing the base damage on the ability.
So yeah, we're talking about a couple of hunter things today. Mage ADCs as a whole has not been as much of an issue before. We think Hekate is in a much better spot. All of the adjustments we made prior are pretty good. Freya, just she's still seeing a lot of competitive play in the SPL and in ranked games, so we want to touch her ulti just a little bit.
Only 10 damage.
It's only 10 damage, but it's per shot.
4 shots,
so it's going to add up a little bit, and I think it's going to make you feel a little bit more fair when you're versing against her.
I mean, Freya ult's always been a really good ability.
Let's talk about Hunbats. Now, Hunbats got a buff in the last update.
Are they going to nerf him right back again?
Well, we kept our eye on him, and now we're scaling that back just a little bit for Fear No Evil.
They
and we're
are
gonna be increasing the cooldown to kind of a midway mark to where it was before.
That's so
and I'll let
funny.
Han take it here.
Yeah, we've seen Hunbots in particular be very sensitive to his ultimate cooldown being adjusted. A lot of characters don't actually really respond that much to it, but Hunbots really did. So we reverted to change that
because Hunbot's ultimate is one of the singular best abilities in Smite.
Often. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the middle ground between those two numbers we selected before, and then see if we need to go any further from there.
There you go.
All right, and
we love middle ground.
For bonus balance, we've got Rama. He's been faring really well after the rework.
No, don't nerf my Ram
this year.
Don't nerf my Ram.
Doing,
he's so
nerf
fun.
Here to Astral Strike.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're going to be decreasing the slow duration from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds.
That's fair.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you said, Cupid and Rama have been the hunters that have really excelled. Rama specifically because of the passive, and because he can get better use of those Astral Strike arrows, we want to make sure it's not too frustrating to play against him. Lowering that slow duration just means that now that he's getting more arrows, you're not going to be slowed as as often as consecutively. There are going to be more hunter itemization changes coming up, so we just wanted to do one small targeted nerf here for Rama.
For sure. Well, that wraps it up for bonus balance. So a few nerfs targeted towards the very, very top end of competitive play. So I'm excited to see how that shapes out.
It's interesting that they're doing all these balances on competitive play because none of this has trickled down.
And we'll kick it off with Cybernetic
Except for maybe
Woojer.
AMA.
He's going to be in the Fighting Machine
Rama's not even that popular.
And this one looks really, really awesome. Kind of like a cyborg type skin. I believe we have the card art ready for you guys that will be popping up on screen in just a second. So what do you guys think about Cybernetic Woojer?
Ooh, fancy.
I'm definitely loving the edge.
Why do you? Hey man, hey Pod, help sell this skin.
His armor, the shininess, the like
fancy.
mask that like looks like it's a filtration system. Just cool.
Checks in the mail, Pod. Checks in the mail.
Allied with those guys.
I'm pretty sure he killed those guys, and we've got the in-game turnaround that we'll be able to see that give people just a little bit of closer look on his model. And as you can see, he's got all the weapons ready to kill and take out and assassinate anybody that he has a contract for. Looking super sweet. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for Cybernetic Woojer.
I've destabilized planetary democracies and exterminated entire alien species. This should be a piece of cake.
Genocide Woojer?
He definitely looks like he is equipped for the job. Next up for skins and the bonus update coming out to you guys, we've got Blobkiss Bacchus. He's going to be available in the slimy blob chest, and this one looks super awesome. Definitely the art team told us to give everyone shout out.
That's where it's at.
It's something that we've never really done before, but just the take, he looks so happy, but so intimidating.
Now that's a skin.
Clumsy, what do you think about this one?
This is a highlight skin right here. I've been so excited. We've seen this one in the game, and immediately everyone was like, you know what? I kind of want to play support today because I want to play this skin because it's amazing.
That's great.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at that turnaround in game, because as you can see in the card art, he's got the bits floating around, and all those different bits have like animations
that'll do
that
it
you
for
can see
me.
just kind of bouncing around. So I imagine I see belly flops on things, he just kind of absorbs them.
Is that a jelly crunch?
And they just live with him.
It is.
That's him.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for Blobkiss Bacchus.
If you come any closer, Blobkiss will suck you into its stomach.
Exactly like I was thinking. Belly flop right into the stomach. I'm loving the green
that's
on
wonderful.
That skin too. Well, let's take a little bit of a walk on the darker side here and talk about Dark Lord Chalk is our next skin that's coming out in the Odyssey Reckoning event. And this one, like I said, is definitely on the darker side. Pawn, what do you think on this one?
Is this like the Wukong?
Oh my gosh!
Like another Star Wars theme again?
Like black and
red. Is this like the chalk version of the Wukong
glowing
skin?
bits of like red on them? Like it just looks so cool. It's just a good color scheme, good art style. Love it.
Yeah, for sure. And as we go in game and kind of check out the turnaround, this one reminds me of who is that skin for? The older Sun Wukong skin.
Yes, it is.
Reminds me. It's got the similar vibe there.
That's right.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's Sith Lord Chalk, yeah.
What hope do you have?
Excuse me, this is definitely not Sith Lord Chalk.
The one everyone's been waiting for. We spoiled it a few weeks back, but the next skin from the Odyssey Reckoning that we want to show off is Gambit Queen Hera. And first of all, I have to give a super huge shout out to Rob Draws on the amazing concept. Floated around the community for a long time, got a lot of big reception, and we just decided, you know, let's just give the people what they want. Like, let's make this skin happen. We made some treatments to Hera to kind of up it just a little bit more, but this skin just turned out amazing as we get ready to pull up the card art. Clumsy, what do you think about this one?
I mean, this is one of those skins where, like, it just makes you really want to play that god, you know? I mean, like, Hera's a lot of fun anyways, but I don't see many people playing anything but this skin. I mean, from the card art to what you actually see in game, the model and the effects is just fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at the turnaround, the model in game. Because definitely the treatments that we did to both Hera, Argus already looks amazing. Hera looks amazing.
You're just a
the skin is
bright
just an
Vegas boy, aren't you?
And I believe after we take a listen to the voice pack, we're gonna go ahead
click all his buttons
and show you guys what it looks like. So let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack, and we'll get in game to show you guys the abilities.
You could play against me, but Lady Luck has never left my side.
There we go, Lady Luck. There she is, Gambit Queen Hera, and immediately, the basics look super awesome.
Yeah, the gold outlines with the red inside. Then you can see that with the other abilities as well. That's really nice.
I
that go
love
everywhere.
how when the fist collides, the coins just kind of pop out like you hit a jackpot.
That's fun.
Yeah, you get the card suit motif on a lot of these, and it's looking really fine.
Whoa,
yeah, for sure.
That's a dice.
Oh,
Shield's so good.
That's a really good
that
shield.
Is awesome. That looks amazing.
Like the
and I was gonna say on the
well.
polymorph, it looks like you've got the some hints of like some of the card suits
That's
as well.
great.
And of course, you've got Big Daddy Argus, the king of the casino.
Yeah, the fidelity on the model as well. It's like all the intricate details. Honestly, on both models, Hera, Argus, and the skin effects, it's
I like it.
Well done.
Most definitely.
That's good.
The team killed it on all the different aspects.
To be fair, this
modeling,
skin is in
breeding,
fact better than the Hell Tier 5. That's true.
Awesome. Coming your way in the
it's a little
Odyssey
sad, but
Reckoning
it's
update
true.
that is coming next week for the bonus part of it. And we've got one more skin that's coming your way in the bonus update. And this one is been floating around in the community for a little bit. People were wondering, hey, how do I get this skin? This one is Code Eater Bakasura. And I'm really digging this one. It's kind
this
of
is
in
the one
theme
that's
of
accidentally
the
in the game, right?
Codebreaker Osiris skin. It's kind
I
of
think
a
this
mix
is the one.
of mech,
I think this is the one you can play
sci-fi,
right now if
space.
you
And
use a
guys take
skin
look at the
booster on
card,
Baka.
definitely looking clean there. Look at how he's just absorbing the other. I guess he was his friend at one point, but not so much now.
I've been waiting for this one. This one is so sick.
I actually have not sure.
All the
seen
effects
this
and
one.
everything.
Oh, and it is looking awesome.
I know, right? Let's go ahead and pull up that turnaround video and take a little bit of a closer look at the model here.
That's pretty cool.
I'm definitely loving the accents,
That's
the red
pretty
accents.
Cool.
And those blades look sick. And I'm not sure if those are wings or part of the shoulder pads, but I love how they're floating around. Just
it does have a little bit of a
sci-fi
Destiny vibe. Yeah, I can see that.
Let's go ahead
and
take a listen to the voice pack for Code Eater.
It's not really a theme that's been really done a ton in Smite though.
But you think you can hold me back?
Osiris has this theme as well, but I think that's the only one. I think it's just Osiris.
Well, that wraps it up for all the skins coming you guys' way next week in the bonus update
kind of a
for
fun
7.9.
theme to work
so
with.
Let's go ahead and talk about some community news. And Pon and Clumsy, there's kind of a lot here. We got a lot to talk about. So if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to kind of start rattling through these. And if you guys want to chime in on anything, feel free. So first up, we just showed off Code Eater Bakasura, and he is actually going to be available for you guys in a new promotion that we are doing with Prime Gaming. So this is a 9-month-long promotion. There's going to be a different skin that you guys can pick up if you're Prime Gaming members for free, as long as you have your accounts linked. You'll want to make sure that you have your high-res and Twitch accounts linked, and that your Twitch account is linked to your Prime account.
And
that way
it comes with a free Twitch sub that you can use to sub to Incon and never get ads again?
The little crown icon that you guys see at the top right of your screen.
You said it, Isaiah, not me.
On Twitch.
He said
you can
it.
click that once this goes live on September 23rd. So the day after the bonus update goes live, this skin will be available for you guys. And one thing that I have to note is that once a skin leaves the promotion, it's gone from the promotion. So you won't be able to claim it. So be sure to have your account.
That sounds like a great deal, Isaiah.
For the 23rd when the skin goes live.
I wish I had a Prime Gaming sub to smash right now. Wow.
Pawn endorsed.
All right. And speaking of Twitch, I definitely want to give you guys an update on viewer points. So we've heard a lot of you guys' feedback on viewer points and wanting to expand viewer points to other channels. The team, our game team, and our technical team have been looking into it for the past few months. And we're excited to announce that we are in a spot where we're ready to start rolling out viewer points to partner program member channels on a trial basis coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if you're a member of the Smite Partner Program, keep an eye on your email. You'll be getting a message from us with some more information on how to get involved and how to get started for when this trial launches. We're currently targeting when the 7.10 update goes live, but we're super excited to start opening up viewer points to some of our other partner program member channels here on Twitch. That way, if you're watching somebody in the partner program, you'll be able to earn viewer points just as if you're watching right here on Smite Game. So speaking of another exciting thing that's coming
We're
up,
getting viewer points, baby.
Update, That's right. You're
gonna love AFKing in my channel. You're gonna love it.
Remember, we made a treatment to an old adventure map with a little bit of a spooky twist. So we're excited to announce that we're going to be bringing back.
It's going to be just like AFKing in a different channel, but here it's going to be great.
We're going to be bringing back a couple of other adventures for the rest of the year. So classic
like
will be for the 7.10 update. We are going to be doing classic domination for the 7.11 update.
What is this? New map.
And finally, corrupted arena will return in the 7.12 update. So Classic Joust will be enabled for this update. You guys will be able to reminisce and play on this map.
Oh yeah, little Halloween jousting map, cute.
Clumsy, do you have any memories from the classic Joust, either from back in the day or from when we brought the adventures back?
I mean, back in the day, with I just think immediately the thing was just like, this is just tryhards. That's where people went to go for. It's like, all right, 1v1 Nuwa, old school Nuwa, let's go. Let's see who can get this done. Sure. Joust was always the place. Old school Joust was always the place.
You love to see it. And speaking of kind of celebrating our past, we want to celebrate our future too. So we are already planning for our birthday event next year, and we're happy to announce that we're opening up community submissions for jump stamps, avatars, and global emotes to be given away for
Smite's
free
birthday? I always
during
forget.
This birthday event, similar to what we did earlier this year.
Is it just new season? Like
so
new season
on how to get involved with that and how to submit your art is
the
on
like kind of thing. March,
right
so kind of.
So if you're an artist and want to submit your work,
new seasons usually go live in like February.
Feel free to check those out. Almost done with community news, guys. Next up, we've got October is LGBT History Month. So to commemorate this, we're going to be adding a new bundle with a bunch of LGBT flags that you guys will be able to earn for free by getting a first one of the day. Cool. So there's going to be the transgender flag, the lesbian flag, the asexual flag, the bisexual flag, non-binary flag, and the pansexual flag, all available for you guys to earn in-game and equip coming up in this next update.
Coolio.
That is awesome.
All right. A couple, definitely super awesome. We are super excited to get this done. And a couple more reminders before we wrap up community news. First up, the Voyager's log event is going on right now. Remember, there is a free reward waiting for you every single day as long as you log in and play a game. That event ends on the 22nd, so be sure that you are logging in, playing a game to earn every day's reward. As you can see, we gave away some gems earlier. You can get some skin boosters.
I should probably check in on that thing.
Global
I've got a lot of those.
XP boosters. That event ends on the 22nd, so you don't want to miss it. And last but not least, we've got SPL coming your way this weekend. Last week was a bye week. I was definitely missing out on my SPL action, but the Phase 3 playoffs were awesome to watch. And speaking of the Phase 3 playoffs, the winners on the NA side, we've got a couple people making their way up to the SPL.
I may not know a lot about SPL. I just know that when Space Station plays, Space Station wins.
You guys definitely don't want to miss SPL.
So the other teams might as well not even show up. Let's go ahead, give the trophy over to SSG.
Community news.
Let them blast off to the moon. Everybody else can fight for second place. That's all I know.
About everything coming your way in the Trickster God update, but that was a lot. I need just a minute to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the other side of this video.
Well, hey God guides, items, gameplay. Is it me?
It's not me.
It's not me.
This is a new series where we teach you how to play God's good and do other things good too.
Don't take my ideas.
Really just the God thing. So make sure you catch our most recent video where we talk about the wicked witch of the woods herself, Baba Yaga, and how to control the chaos she brings to the battlegrounds. All of this and more only on the Smite YouTube channel.
Knew I should have copyrighted it. I knew it. Knew I should have copyrighted an idea from their game that other people have done before me. Should have been the first person to copyright it. That's all that matters legally. Dun, 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 dun. Bum. The Necropolis skins are cool. I feel like it's just so hard for them to be paired literally right next to like the Avatar stuff. So it's just like, I feel like no matter what they had, you know, it was just like, there was just no way. Everything was gonna look kind of lame after Avatar.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody, for sticking with us. It is time to go over the 7.10 update and everything coming your way on October 2nd in the Trickster God update.
October 2nd. That's pretty quick.
Things off with balance. I still got Pond and Clumsy by my side, and we'll go ahead and kick things off. And we're going to kick off with items first for balance coming your way
just
in
over 2 weeks.
7.10. And we'll start off with Atalanta's Bow. We're going to be decreasing the attack speed from 30% to 25%, and also decreasing that movement speed while attacking and strafing that you get after obtaining a kill.
Atalanta's Bow nerf. Yeah.
Yeah, so the big thing here is we were looking at
It's the best
ADCs,
hunter item in the
especially after
game.
the mage ADCs were changed, with some nerfs directly to some of the characters as well as the hot ring stuff. And we were seeing that hunters now are actually in a much healthier spot, but there's a few items, especially build pass with attack speed, that are too effective. We want to tone them back without necessarily.
They
just
didn't take away the
removing
pen,
them
which
as,
means it's still probably going to be the best hunter pen item.
So
but
Atalanta's bow is the
it
first
probably
nerf.
won't be
It
like
was very effective as a 20%
quite
pen
as
item.
busted.
We're just taking some attack speed
It's
and some of
objectively
the
the best
passive
hunter item in
strength
the game.
off to see where it falls.
It was about time.
Cool. All right. Since we're talking about hunter items, let's go ahead and talk about Silver Branch Bow, the other kind of hunter item we're taking a look at in 7.10.
Are they going to nerf it?
Decreasing the attack speed.
They
on the
are
item
going
by
to nerf
5%.
it. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so like Pon said, hunters in this new itemization tree has seen a lot more play. Silver Branch Bow, we finally got that passive to a spot where I think people are finally excited about it. So we didn't want to touch the passive one more time, but we wanted to hit the base stat a little bit with an attack speed reduction.
Silver
It's a
Branch
small
Bow
one,
is
but this build
interesting.
is usually seen with a lot of its items together.
It is very
these
interesting.
Small things will add up.
For sure, definitely. All right, let's make
That
our way
one
and talk about
effective,
some
though.
warrior items
That's
here,
fine.
guys. First up is Gladiator Shield, and this one it's almost to the point of a small rework here, which is pretty exciting.
Wait.
So I'll go ahead and read off the stats, and then
Poor
we can talk about
Gladiator
it.
Shield gets
First of all,
reworked
we're gonna
every
be
other patch now.
decreasing the cost from 2,500 to 2,400, and then we're changing the passive to make it to where damage dealt is 15 plus 2 per level, to 15 plus 35% of your total protections from items, magical and physical, and abilities. And we're also increasing the bonus damage on the activation threshold from 50% to 60%.
Yeah, this item was really interesting because we reworked it to be a bit more aggressive, remove it from its more sustain-oriented previous iteration, but it just wasn't quite doing enough, and it scaled at weird paces, and there's no way you could really build into it. So now we're going to allow players who want to build like very bruiser, very tanky to get extra damage late game when they build this after they build a ton of protections, or if their kit has some protections built in where they can actually like use a stim and use this, such as like Fenrir Brutalize. You could brutalize on someone. There's
a lot of potential
so lots of cool stuff here, lots more interesting things to work
that.
with. Different places it can fit into builds. Hopefully, we'll see.
There's
more use
a
of
lot of potential.
Cool. All right, next up, we've got Emperor's Armor. And guys, I think Emperor's Armor is pretty good, but it hasn't been getting a lot of pickups in play here. So we're going to do a small buff here, increasing the physical protections.
Now it's going to need practice. Too much potential.
Yeah, I mean, Isaiah, you hit the nail on the head there. We think Emperor's Armor is a pretty good item. We're always looking at the support items to see which ones we think we can tweak to give a little bit more love to.
Emperor's Armor is one that we still really enjoy. Armor isn't super relevant anymore,
especially obviously
because there's so much pen in the game that affects Phoenixes and stuff again. I don't actually feel like Phoenixes.
Cool. Isaiah's pro tip:
like
Emperor's
towers aren't like
first
super
item in
relevant.
Assault is OP. Definitely.
They were for a while, but
all right. Next up, we've got Hide of the Nemean Lion. Going to be seeing a nerf here, increasing the protections required per block stack from 100 to 120.
Really? Yeah, so we changed it to now actually take care of your protections to give you block stacks to address squishy characters like assassins building it as a one-off to get some block stacks. That worked, but it is still too effective.
Really?
Certain characters and item combinations.
I've only seen legit maybe 2 Hide of the Nemean Lions.
So we're just increasing the threshold a little bit so we can delay some of the stacks that you're getting. It's still going to be quite a potent item.
Maybe I'm just a trash can and I don't know Smite metas anymore, but I did not see very many
that wraps it up for 7.10 item balance. Let's start talking about gods, guys. We got a couple buffs here that are pretty exciting on her up first.
Yeah.
We're making a change to Disperse. We're going to be decreasing the setup time on the ability and decreasing the leaf time. And I'll let Pon take this one.
Yep. So we use the term setup time and leap time. Setup time is the time from when you hit the button to when Onher builds up his leap. So before he actually takes off, and then leap time is the actual travel time. So he's going to be taking off quicker, and he's going to be traveling to his location quicker. This is one thing that we've seen with Onher players where they feel like the leap is very telegraphed.
To be fair, he has a very
it's often difficult to get off in
jump.
sticky situations. So we just want to make it a little bit easier, and that'll actually go into the next buff.
Because Anher's an old god. Anher's like back with Neath. Remember they made Neath backflip faster? Because everything back in Smite then used to be a little bit slower.
Decreasing the setup time and the dash time on the ability. Similar to Onher, Pon?
Yep, similar to Onher. The moves had a build-up time, so when you hit the button, he would wait for a little bit and then dash. That's quicker, and the actual dash itself is quicker. Just to make these hunters more responsive in their movement ability. We think they have a lot of room to be very viable right now, but these are kind of holding them back and making them difficult to use, especially at the high level. So these changes should help them out a lot.
Good.
Cool. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some on her and Apollo in games here. Let's talk about Ares up next. Bolster defenses. This is a pretty spicy one. Bolster defenses is now going to provide HP 5 to himself and allies in the aura, starting at 10, scaling all the way up to 30. And I'll let Clumsy take this one.
Yeah, so I mean, we've done a lot of things to help give Ares some love, especially in Conquest, right? It's because we wanted to get these buffs catered towards Conquest, because we know in Arena and other game modes he's already pretty strong, so we want to make these buffs definitely catered towards the Conquest game mode. We had the Flame buff, we had the Ulti buff, and now we have Bolster Defenses, one of the abilities
so presumably
that the community has always seen
only when you activate it?
We think will be a nice little touch here. It shouldn't affect the other game modes as much, and honestly, it's not too big of a bolster as well. So it's a small amount of HP 5 for himself and his allies, and it should help him out in sieges and defenses.
Cool. All right. We'll keep it right on the Guardian
train. I think that's a part of the active. I don't think that's passive. I think that you have to click it, which is not that big a deal.
Increasing the energy surge heal from 40 to 120, going up to 60 to 140 per enemy Guardian.
Oh, that's huge.
This is actually a revert.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Yep. So RTO had a history of when she was launched, she was very strong. We did a whole bunch of adjustments, and she's kind of like gone back and forth since then. This is just a change where she has to be aggressive and very forward to get this heal off. So we want it to be more rewarding than it currently is, and we think that RTO is in a situation where she can actually have this type of buff, and it's healthy for the game.
Okay. That could help RTO. That could bring her back up.
We're going to be making a buff to Vivid Gaze, increasing the magical power scaling by 10%.
Yeah, in a similar vein with some of these other changes, you know, Baron Zombie, he had a lot of love
They're
before, and
really
now,
trying to make Baron a
mid-mage. We're slowly bringing
mid-mage.
back the abilities that might
Really
make him
hard.
survive a little bit better, especially in the mid
And
lane.
I just don't know if he's ever going to be a mid-mage.
Now, once you have a little bit more scaling, he'll
I just don't know if he's ever going to be.
Better early game that we've given him previously with the Vivid Gaze buff to a better late game.
Yep, focusing more on the mage style of his play.
Yep.
For sure. All right, Fenrir is up next, and he's going to be seeing a buff. First up,
he just doesn't really have a mid-mage
increasing
kit.
The base damage on the ability, and then Ragnarok, we're going to be increasing the movement speed buff that he gets from 50% to 75%. Pretty significant.
Wait, whoa.
Yeah, I believe this unchange is actually a partial revert from a change when he was kind of like running the support role with a high base damage. Partial revert to help with clear and aggressive dinks, as well as Ragnarok, the extra movement speed to really chase down targets.
Increase,
and push you guy further in the back line if you would otherwise.
25%, that's a speedy
it might look like a big
doggo.
buff because 25% is just it's 1.5
no
times what it was
escaping
before,
from that, my
but
dude.
movement has scaling DR at that point, so it's not really a 25% increase. It's closer to like a 10% movement increase or movement speed increase based off like how the math works out.
Still though, that's nice.
Cool. All right, next up we've got Hachiman making a change to Eagle Eye.
That's great.
So long story short, TLDR, the ability is now going to deal the same amount of damage no matter how close or far away you are from your enemy.
That was probably unneedlessly complicated.
Eagle Eye specifically, we were always very careful about because we had this difference between when you can hit people at close range and far range. We wanted to make sure that never felt too oppressive. But after the years of playing Hachiman, I think we've come to the conclusion that it's probably okay for this just to deal extra bonus damage all the time in kind of the same way. We don't think this is going to be too much of a problem, and let's give it a try.
It was kind of something that was in the kit.
All right, next up on the list, we've got Osiris.
I mean, he's kind of an easy hunter. I don't think he needed that complication.
And then Lord of the Afterlife, we're going to be actually increasing the max range of the ultimate ability by 10 units from 55 up to 65.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Cyrus has traditionally run the kind of soul lane and been this very aggressive pick.
Little extra scaling,
who
cares?
Changes in Season 7, how metas have shaken
10
out.
extra
he
units.
Just kind of always stayed on the
That's
more
a
back
leapy
burner,
boy.
not really like super competitive viable. So we're just increasing the power of Sickle Strike, giving it a little bit extra scaling so it can be more threatening late game. And then Lord of the Afterlife, giving him extra diving potential, more flexibility on the range and how far he wants to go into the enemy team. Or escape if he needs to.
For sure. All right, we are nearing the end of God Balance, guys. Next up, we've got Cirquette getting a buff here. We're making a change to Ambush, increasing the physical power scaling from 50% to 70%. And then Cobra's Kiss, we're going to be decreasing the cooldown from 18 seconds to 16 seconds. Pawn, do you want to take point on this one?
It's been a while since I've seen some Cirquette play.
Yeah, sure.
It's been a while.
Cirquette has a very long, complicated history. TLDR, as a jungler, she's always been kind of pretty okay. As a support, when she is in the support role, she can be very, very, very threatening and kind of run the game. We did a lot of nerfs and adjustments to her, and the jungle's changed a lot.
There was a game-breaking bug with her
we want to bring back some strength now that we feel like she's fallen
and it
off,
almost happened and ruined the finals.
And we want to focus those changes on being more aggressive and rewarding more aggressive play. So ambush getting scaling increase will make it so that you're incentivized to leap in aggressively with high power builds. And then Cobra's Kiss, the lower cooldown, will just give more flexibility on when you gank and when you can control in team fights outside of just bursting down your single target.
All right, last up for God Balance, we've got Vamana going to be seeing a buff to Colossal Fury. We're going to be decreasing the movements penalty for attacking, backpedaling, and strafing by 20% while the ability is active.
Whoa, no.
Yeah, so
that can't be real.
With Vamana's ulti.
No, they're not.
Atlanta-style effect
No,
towards
they're not.
Hitting
Stop
enemies
it.
with Colossal Fury, and we buffed it.
No,
we
they're
nerfed it.
not.
We wanted to find a middle ground where we thought, it might not be
Stop
it's
buffing
not too
Vamana.
aggressive for the enemies, but it still
Stop.
helps Vamana.
Stop
we
it
wanted to
right
add
now.
This new rule in, which is this Hastelis, like effect, because every time you're hitting someone with Vamana with that ulti, you're still slowing yourself down. Now you're doing that a little bit less, and maybe you won't actually need to buy Hasten Fatalis or maybe Frost down,
Vamana,
one or the
full
other.
protection build, plus Atalanta's bow and that new Glad Shield, full tank run at
cool
people.
Hunter changes, a couple of cool Assassin
There's
changes,
your
and
build.
Guardian changes as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to how things shake up when the update goes live on October 6th. So let's go ahead and start talking about some of the awesome skins and content that we got coming your way in the Trickster God update. And like I kind of hinted at earlier, we're nearing the season of tricks and treats. So of course we got to start talking about the Halloween chest, right guys? So the first skin that we've got up is Vampiress Amaterasu. And this is kind of the first really darker take at Ama. And she is looking
kind of
really
uncomfortable.
Creepy. What do you think, Clumsy?
That this is on my screen right now.
Really creepy.
Am I gonna get banned?
The vampiric aspects, the blood dripping down the chin, definitely.
Is this Twitch
some
appropriate?
Halloween creepy vibes.
For sure.
Gucci
Let's
murder
go
with the
ahead and,
sword.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
We'll probably be able to see the sword a little bit better as we go
what's in that glass,
and see that turnaround in game. There we go. I love the treatment on the sword, how it's kind of black and then gets a little bit more grayish, and the broken mirror is
the broken mirror is a very
kind
nice
of more appropriate in game, I guess.
For sure. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for Vampiress Amaterasu.
You dare to challenge an immortal daughter of darkness?
I do not dare challenge you, Vampiress Amaterasu. That one was super awesome. And we've got one kind of dark and creepy skin for Halloween, but we've got another one that kind of celebrates the dressing upness and the fun aspect of the holiday. Next up, we've got Pumpkin Spice Discordia, and she is looking super awesome. She's got her witch outfit ready, got a kitty and a pumpkin. It looks so good.
Yeah, I'm really excited about
Discordia
this one.
skins to be pretty hit or miss.
Named little kitty cat after my little kitty cat, so we've got Lillykins.
Nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at
a lot of it just comes that way. Do you think she ulties? Do you think she ulties her pumpkin cat?
Back here. So let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice.
Do you think she yeets a giant cat inside of a pumpkin? Because that's a +1 for sure.
So you better have some candy for me.
Because that's not bad at all.
It's her old
I'm down. I'm down for that.
The cat like the apple, so it's her old
cat. It's the little kitty.
You know it is.
Are me and Pun the same person?
Amazing. Well, that is coming your way in the Halloween chest guide when the 7.10 update goes live. But let's go ahead and kind of switch gears and start talking about the
How's that even possible?
We've got a few more awesome skins that are be coming in this update, and we'll kick it off with Gummy Worm Medusa. And I know Titan Cupcake, I can hear her screaming now. She loves all the candy-themed skins.
Worm Medusa. That's a smart idea.
Dude, rip all those people in the
background.
That
makes perfect sense.
they're all
I didn't even know.
Yep.
Oh, she just turned them into hard candy. Yeah, that's super unfortunate. Let's go ahead and take a look at the turnaround in game, because I'm super curious on how it's looking.
Wow.
Oh, of course, the bright colors.
I actually love it.
Really clean.
The candy bracelet on the tail. That's so cool. There's so many cool touches here.
I know, right?
That's bright.
Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for this one.
Smite skins don't usually end up.
So many sweets to pick.
Everything in Smite usually ends up a little diluted. I like that it's actually bright.
Like she is definitely
and colorful.
She turns people into
the brightest skin that we have in the game is like the like Scotty skin, really.
Right? Yeah.
We don't get a lot of bright skins in the
All right,
game.
next up in the Odyssey Reckoning, one that I'm super excited about, Sniper Tech Raw. You guys know me. You know I love all the mech skins.
Oh yeah.
And this one
Holy
is
cow!
super
Does he bring
awesome.
out a giant cannon?
we have to go in game and show this one off because the ultimate is apparently super crazy.
Why is every raw skin so
take
good?
A look at the turnaround before
the reason why they keep making raw skins is because we keep buying them all, dude.
But I'm definitely loving the stance and the armor treatments here. Looking really good. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack before we go.
We'll never stop because we'll never stop buying them.
You want to see a big gun? Oh, I'll show you a big gun.
I bet you will, big boy.
All right, let's do it.
I want to see it. I mean, I guess do the other abilities, but I also want to see it.
Yeah. Oh, nice. One looking clean. Not too much going on. Oh, that's awesome.
I like the build up. You can see the build up on like the blind effects with that.
Oh my god, he does.
My gosh.
He pulls out a giant
I love how he just
cannon
gets
beam,
set
dude.
and just like a gun just appears on his shoulder.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Supercharged shot.
That'll do it.
Upon blessing us with the slow-mo.
Oh
my god, that is so clean.
That is clean.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, this one is going to be available in the Odyssey Reckoning update.
Yep.
So if you guys want the big gun, that Sniper Tech Raw shield, be sure to start participating in the event here. And then we've got the reward skin coming up in 710 for the Odyssey Reckoning, and it is Primal Spirit Kerninos, and this one is kind of in the theme of some of our other Forest Spirit skins. This one I'm definitely loving the symbols and like all the treatment. I love this card art too.
Is that literally the Battle Right symbol, or am I fried?
In the background.
You guys remember the game Battle Right? That we played competitive in against last.
Yeah, I love this
me and my brother.
And they made this
is that like literally
really,
the symbol?
Really different, which is really cool.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the turnaround here because I'm super excited to see what it looks like in game. Yep, for sure. This is an insta equip for me. Loving the aesthetic here.
Is this a crossover?
In game, like it makes it seem so much cooler.
Yes, the one that you have, Peaceful. Right? Yes, pretty much exactly.
Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for Primal Spirit Kerninos.
Is this a crossover?
Why did you come here with such intent? There are less painful ways to die.
Okay.
There we go. So he is the protector of the forest. It seems like
it's cool.
I just out to kill you, but like,
I didn't even get to appreciate the skin because I was so like, wait a second, is that a battle? Is that Battle Right? I love Battle Right. Oh my god, that game was so fun. It was just too hard. People never got into it because it was so difficult. Up, guys, for everything coming your way, content and skin wise, in the 7.10 update, we know that you guys have been waiting for the Loki Rework. It's kind of a small patch.
We are ready to start going over it, and we will be
in terms of like balance. There's not a whole lot of balance. So most of this patch is the new Loki rework.
Bro? Well, that's where Loki comes in, the trickster god. You see, some people might call someone who breaks the rules and takes what he wants regardless of who gets hurt a villain, but Loki prefers the term opportunist. And sure, it was foretold that Loki would play a part in the coming of Ragnarok, which would leave the gods slain, the heavens sundered, and the world in ashes, but he's not a bad guy, he's just misunderstood. Loki's such a prankster, he could start a YouTube channel. Just ask Balder, the god of light. You see, Balder had a prophetic dream of his own death, so his mama went and made all objects in the world swear to never harm him. Only one object did not swear, mistletoe. Learning this, Loki went and forged a spear from the plant and gave it to Balder's brother. Now, the god's new favorite pastime had become throwing objects at Balder and watching them bounce harmlessly off. You see where this is going? Balder's brother threw the spear, and oops, Balder was impaled. So he died, and Loki was imprisoned. He was bound in entrails, and a big old serpent was put above him, where it dripped venom onto his face, causing him to shake the world with his anguish. So, hashtag worth.
That's a great prank,
the
bro.
Trickster God for you. Just a little bit of a sneak peek into his lore. Shout out to Nevercake for the amazing video. It is time to start getting into the nitty gritty of what's changing with the Trickster God and his rework. So
that was lovely.
To kick things off and kind of throw to you guys, Pawn and Clumsy, just to talk briefly to me about Loki, his history, not only in game, but amongst the community as well.
Yeah, do you want to start, Clumsy?
Yeah, I mean, sure. This is a long. We've done loads of different posts about it. I mean, we have the massive document talking about whether we want to do the Loki rework or not. I mean, Loki is definitely a super controversial god. He's one of the ones that there's a lot of people who have a massive fan base towards Loki, and there's a lot of people who just don't ever want to see him in one of your games. And I mean, I'm not going to disagree and say that like I'm not one of those people who likes to see Loki just backdooring and doing all those frustrating things and one-shotting me because I'm a mage player and I'm God, get away from me. But I mean, so we took this chance and we wanted to get Loki. We wanted to still give him the feeling of Loki. He still behaves the same way he does. And we all wanted to make the mains happy, wanted to make the people who play against Loki happy, and I think we've come together to compromise on the different abilities that we're going to see today. And we should, hopefully, everyone will be in some way happy.
Yeah, he is the stereotypical assassin. He's the person who stealth sneaks up behind you, surprises you. And that's one thing I think people who really like Loki love, but also people who despise Loki hate, is that surprise aspect, that burst, the feeling of counterplay. He breaks kind of some of the rules that we have around like minion aggro and tower aggro. So the goal with this rework was to really try and keep that core feeling of him being this kind of surprise burst assassin who can jump and isolate a single target, but remove some of the frustration aspects, give people more counterplay opportunities, and give him a bit more teamfight presence so he isn't just the single target burst assassin. He has more tools available to him now, but they're not really impeding on necessarily other gods' niches.
Just show
a
me
little bit
the
better than what he
kit,
currently
you
has. And I think we've come to a really cool
beautiful
compromise. People internally who've been playing him in these playtests have been loving him, saying that he really like playing Loki now. So hopefully we've made everyone happy. We'll see though.
All right. Well, I'm ready. I know chat's ready. Are you guys ready? Let's go ahead and go in game and kick this rework reveal off.
Loki
and Pon is our gracious driver today. And we'll go ahead and start off with general. And I'll kind of just touch on, we're just increasing the basic attack damage on the initial hit from 80% to 100%.
Okay.
Pon, I'll let you kind of take the reins here and talk to us about this change.
Yep. So one thing that we did really early on during like trying to balance Loki was we actually removed the burst from the first basic attack. That was because he could in-hand cancel, and that burst was just really high. So he took away a lot of the power of the in-hand cancel. But because this kit has different functionality now, we feel like he doesn't need that arbitrary penalty on him anymore.
Okay.
And he was really the only character in the game that had that kind of arbitrary penalty.
For sure. Cool. So as we start talking about the passive, I think the best way to kind of go about this is just talk about some of the new abilities and how the passive intertwines with those new abilities. So first off, before we hop into those, let's talk about Vanish just a little bit. Of course, this was all explained kind of in the blog post that we put out earlier in the year. But Loki, of course, will now fade into stealth. But now, if Loki takes damage while he is stealth, he's now going to be revealed for a short time.
Okay.
So you can see right here, I hit the Loki.
There we go.
Okay.
If he stealths, he will actually go, you'll see him for a little bit, and if you hit him with any sorts of damage, he'll be a little bit revealed. Good players are familiar with tracking the damage numbers. This little bit of extra visibility will help players learn that mechanic without giving too much away for the Loki player.
For sure. So just a short amount of time, if he takes damage while he is in stealth, he's got the little shadowy aura that appears in place of his actual model. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk about Decoy into Agonizing Vision. So Decoy, no longer going to be the ability. It is being made into a new ability called Agonizing Vision. And Pon, what's going on with this one?
Yep, so Agonizing Vision is now, rather than a dot that aggro, or a deployable that aggroes minions and then does an explosion, it does damage over time to anyone standing in it and reducing the damage they deal when they're poisoned. Additionally, if they stay too long in it, they become blinded, and you can actually benefit from behind you with any direction. So you can see I'm actually getting the behind you bonus damage even in front of this Odin after he's been blinded.
That's a really cool animation, by the way. That's really cool.
Graciously cast it.
Wow. Interesting.
It definitely obscures your vision, but you can still see things. So you can still make mistakes, but you might miss things in the chaos of a fight.
Okay.
For sure. It's like he is
kind of
sharing
unique.
the poison that he has been, it's been dripping on his face. Now it's your turn to have a little bit of what he's been going through.
And one awesome note here as well.
Oh, go ahead, Cozy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one awesome note as well is that all the skins have been updated with all these different things, and seeing the different effects and different post-process effects is a really cool job done by the effects team.
I like it.
This one is really strong. I like the idea that we were able to bring in lore ties, which traditionally Loki's base kit actually didn't really have super strong lore ties to what he does in lore, but this lets you kind of see what he went through and underwent, and just the vision of seeing it, you feel that pain.
So presumably that's his blade clear now? Presumably.
Definitely.
You can empathize a little bit with the Loki player, is what you're saying.
Since minions will just sit inside the whole thing.
Let's talk about Aimed Strike now Flurry Strike. Loki is now going to unleash a flurry of daggers, 5 strikes really quickly. Pawn, if you want to show off the ability, and if you guys want to go into what's
That's a cool animation.
Yep. So
nice.
aim strike specifically, when one of the problems that Loki had previously was he could stealth onto someone, auto attack, and then use aim strike to get that immediate reset to do another burst of damage. And that burst window was very hard to deal with. It was very hard to understand what was even happening to you. So now it's more of a longer duration channel clear ability that does damage if you can stay on the target longer.
Okay.
So it's 5 rapid strikes into a final big wind-up strike that slows and does more damage. And you can also see a cool interaction is from the front, I do normal damage, and from the back, I do behind you damage.
I like it.
So this ability not only synergizes with the passive now and is better clear for jungle or wave clear, but it also, if you do something like this where you blind someone, you can get the behind you proc from the front. So there's a lot more kit synergy inside the base kit itself.
I love that. His kit feels a lot. This is feeling way more well designed.
Is also removing the frustrations, right? It's again the stuff
like
with the
his
blood
kit
first.
actually
So now,
works
the new
together.
2, it's not there to taunt enemies. It's there for a completely different aspect.
I like
the new
that.
3, it's not this instant strike of damage. It's spread out over time, giving enemies the ability to actually Aegis it. You know, we're just trying to slowly remove those things that made it frustrating to play against Loki, but giving him new things to help him out with instead.
Cool. I'm actually into it.
I mean, it's not to say
I'm into that. That's nice.
The new Flurry Strike doesn't deal a whole lot of damage, especially if you got the behind you procs.
If you get the full channel off, especially from behind you, it does some damage. So try and interrupt Loki, try and get away. Use your Aegis to avoid the final hit, especially if you can.
Okay.
Loki's still very lethal. That's for sure.
For sure.
Not bad.
Speaking of being lethal, let's go ahead and talk about Assassinate, the ultimate ability. So Assassinate, it's gonna pretty big adjustments here. It's now a kind of like 2-part ability with a teleport and into a secondary hit that now does an AoE stun. And I'll let Pawn take it away and show it off, and we'll talk about it.
Whoa.
Yep, so you can see he does the very similar things that he did before, where he actually teleports onto a target. You can aim it, you can teleport anywhere you want to, and when you lock on the target, you do an initial bit of damage. This initial bit of damage, rather than stunning like it previously did, now cripple, so the target can't leap away immediately. But most of the damage and the harder CC is actually on the follow-up hit. So you can see and do the kind of like wind-up cone into the big strike.
That's
these
cool.
are the things that you want to try and avoid or Aegis or try and beat to get out of. One unique thing that Loki now brings is this is actually a pretty big stun area. So you can see there, I jumped on this Odin. Maybe I want to stun this target. I can freely aim that. I jump on this Odin, I can stun these 2.
Interesting.
Or if I entirely miss, I could jump to where I need to be in a team fight position and aim it to try and hit as many targets as I can. So this ultimate not only has more counterplay for people who are playing against it,
Loki
but
kit?
Loki gets a lot of extra utility out of this. He can team fight if people are clumped up in really clever ways. He can force people to move together with this poison field so they avoid being blinded, and then teleport to get a whole bunch of stuns off. So again, sticking with the theme, extra control for Loki, extra telegraph for enemies to play around, new utility that he brings. So it's
this
not
is a
just
nice design.
A perceived nerf for the feeling.
I mean, he's still got stealth, which is annoying, but like he's Loki, I get it.
Feel more
but like stealth and Smite is annoying. That's why so few characters have
looks
stealth.
Like he's got just some more or different engage opportunities off of this ultimate now, which is really cool.
Not only is the kit better at team fights, it's also way more aesthetic. Like that 3 is pretty cool looking. The 2 is really cool looking.
Now
the
that
old
we've gone through kind of
this kit's
most
actually
of the rework
aesthetic.
and what's going on, where do you guys see Loki now post the 7.10 update?
He might even be viable in the jungle, like for realsies now.
What do you guys recommend?
His 3 might be good enough to clear the jungle, you know?
So we've messed around a lot because we know that the place that he currently plays right now is kind of like this weird solo or supporty build because his jungle clear isn't quite good enough, and he uses like his split pushing. We've played him around in the solo lane, we played him in the support role, we played him in the jungle, and with this extra clear from Flurry Strike being a pretty effective clear tool, the 2 also being an effective clear tool because now it's not a pet, it actually benefits from things like Assassin's Blessing. His wave clear is a little bit more consistent. You can kind of brawl with people and not just rely on Decoy, but I do think he's going to fall mostly to the jungle role.
Ooh, what about you, Pawn?
Our brains are so similar.
Tries and playtests both in the jungle role and solo. I think one of our primary goals was definitely to make sure that he can thrive in the jungle, and I would say that that would be the best place for players to give him a try in. Just like Pon said, the abilities 3 and 2 can now clear the jungle pretty effectively, where previously, each one had a different purpose.
You know what that means.
And his gank potential
We're
is
playing
still
him in the middle lane.
High. It may not be as much of it at first.
I'm making
it
work.
It's probably actually doing even more
First
damage.
item,
And then he can carry that
Transcendence.
over to the late game. That's the most important thing.
Slow down the enemy mid laner. Blink right behind him.
Close down
Win game.
when you've used all your abilities and that one person has left the battlefields on like 1 HP. You can actually contribute more to the fight with this new Loki playstyle.
For sure. Well, I am super excited for this rework, and I can't wait for the rest of the community to get their hands on the new kit, try it out, and tell us what they think. But another thing that I can't wait for the community to get their hands on is actually with this rework, we are introducing a new Loki recolor that is called Stealth Slayer. You guys might have seen it on the pack badge or on social media. We teased it out. But this recolor is going to be a standard recolor. You guys will be able to get it for favor or for gems, or for the first week of the update after it launches. You'll be able to earn the skin for free after getting 2 first wins of the day. So definitely celebrating the Loki rework with an awesome new recolor. And I love the card art, but let's go ahead and take a look at the turnaround here to get a better look at what the model is going to look like. And I love the whites and blues here. What do you guys think?
I like it
too.
green.
I like this one a lot.
Definitely.
It'll look good by using the new rework.
I like it too.
For sure. Yep. I was going to say
as far as recolors go, that's cool. Looks clean.
Look good while you play with the new rework. Definitely looking super awesome. Well, that wraps it up for the Loki rework, guys. Do you guys have anything in closing?
Loki actually looks fun.
About Loki before we close the show?
He actually looks like he's going to be in way better taste.
Just that it was really cool thing to kind of work on, where so many polarizing opinions exist about this character that we had to really collect feedback, really talk about like what we wanted to do. It's really rare that we get a chance to like explore it really that in depth, and like if you've ever seen the dev blog post be that long to explain why we're doing a change, and the iterative feedback where we got feedback from everyone. We did a second round dev stream talking about it. Just this whole process has been really, really cool to go through, and I hope really everyone enjoys this Loki rework.
Most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have any doubts, give Loki a try.
He looks more reasonable to play against and as.
For sure. And I do have one final note before we close. I definitely wanted to address Loki and the rework and how we're kind of treating Loki being banned in like ranked and competitive play. So the current idea now in the direction that we're going is once the rework launches, he will be available for play in ranked immediately, but we will be competitively banning Loki for a couple weeks from the SPL, SCC, and SOC, just to give the pro players a little bit of time to feel out Loki after the rework before he hops right into competitive play.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for the show, guys. Pon Clumsy, as always, thank you guys for hanging out with me for about an hour here.
Well, I mean, as far as the actual patch goes, there wasn't a ton of bonus balance or like actual balance. Like there was like an okay amount. Probably the biggest 2 things were the Gladiator shield change that probably has some strong indications, some strong implications for solo lane builds and tankiness. And then the Vamana change is probably the one like most unnecessary change. I don't know who exactly is complaining about Vamana needing buffs, but I'm keeping my eyes out to find you. Because your complaints have been getting through, so you're complaining to the right person. I want to complain to them about stuff. But other than that, it's really about the Loki change. And Loki actually looks fun to play, which kind of, tastes acidic coming out of my mouth. It's a little bit gross, but I'm a little bit excited to go check him out. So